Hi, welcome to this tutorial on the Hmace. This video will be focused on basic explanation and usage of skills. The first skill, Q, is a silence pool that slows and silences people stepping over them. This is extremely useful in controlling areas, especially if you have more than one heavy mace. Remember to put this on chokes that an enemy has to go through in order to engage on you. This creates the likelihood that maybe some DPS would step on it and fail to engage. The second skill is a snare charge. This roots the enemy, stopping them in their position, but does not stop them from casting spells. This has the additional effect of having AoE escalation, meaning the more people it hits, the more the CC duration lasts. And last but not least is the E. The E purges and silences. This is extremely useful for preventing people from booting up and reaching your Zerg. Some notable mentions are the armors. Guardian armors, they are extremely cheap, and most of all, it is extremely effective in reducing damage done to your Zerg when damage is unavoidable. Another popular armor of choice is the Judicator helmet. This disrupts the enemy engage, but does not fully stop it, giving time for your healers and supports to pop their defensives and heals. So how do we use the skills effectively? Silence Pool is area denial, meaning you control an area using it. That's very self-explanatory. But Snare Charge is the only skill in your arsenal that actually fully stops an engage. An engage can only happen if a clump is still in existence. So when an enemy is engaging and you stop the DPS in the tracks, this gives time for the clump to declump, which means that any engage that tries to hit that clump that no longer exists is very weak. So the W is the only true stopping tool in your arsenal. This is important because Snare Charge can only be used at a certain range. For example, at this range where the wolf is my caller and the enemy are the dummies, a Snare Charge will be able to stop them from reaching the clump because their skills do not reach far enough. However, if the clump was instead over here or the caller was over here, they can easily run past you and get to the clump. That means that Snare Charge is no longer effective because it's not a hard CC. Instead, your better option is either to disrupt the damage or to mitigate it. Disrupting damage, like so, or like so, gives your defensives and your healers time to drop their skills on the clump, reducing the chance of it being lethal. Another way is to mitigate the damage, so that damage to the clump is as low as possible in order for it to be non-lethal. In other words, there's only one skill in the entire arsenal that properly stops a clump from being deleted. So it is actually better to term the heavy mace as an interrupt tank